श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम नमः श्री शंकरानंद गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलास महामोह ग्राह ग्राहैक कर्मणे। So friends, we were analyzing Sat, Chit, Anand, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That we are analyzing. In that, right from 28th verse, we saw Sat aspect of Brahma. Satyam means what? That we saw in about couple of slokas. Now, the second aspect of Brahman, which is Jnanam, is dealt with. So here, Vidyaranya Muni speaks all the three, Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam. So what is Satyam? Badarahityam. And ultimately what is non-negotiable, non-negatable reality is called as Satyam. That we saw. Now, second verse mein, the second aspect of Brahma, in 34th verse, we will see this. Siddham Brahmani Satyatvam Jnanatvam tu Pureritam Swayamevānubhūtitvat Ityādi vachanai sputham. Siddham Brahmani Satyatvam Jnanatvam tu Pureritam Swayamevānubhūtitvat Ityādi vachanai sputham. So, Vidyaranya says, Sat Brahmani Satyatvam, in the Brahman, Satyatvam Siddham. Now we have proved from the 28th to 33 slokas in 6 verses. We have proved that the Brahman is pure existence on which everything is superimposed. And how is Brahman is pure existence proved? It cannot be negated. Satyatvam Badarahityam. It cannot be negated. So after negating everything, what are all possible to be negated, there remains something which cannot be negated, that is Brahman. So how we should do all these things, yesterday we saw. Now today, he says in this verse 34th, now because second Brahma Lakshanam is what? Jnanam. So Jnanam is spoken about. Siddham Brahman Satyatvam. So in Brahma, the existence as the nature of Brahman has been proved, talked about, and has been proved. Jnanatvam tu pura iritam. What about the Jnanam aspect of Brahman? Vidyaranya Muni says, this I already spoke. Pura iritam. Already it has been described, explained. Now you will ask, where is it explained? In this chapter only. How it is explained? Swayameva anubhutitvat ityadi vachanaihi sputam. It is clear by the verses such as Swayameva anubhutitvat. What is that verse which starts with Swayameva anubhutitvat? 13th verse. of Panchakosha Viveka, that is third chapter, 13th verse, where the Jnanam is already explained. How it is explained there? Swayameva anubhutitvat vidyate na anubhavyata. So, it is anubhavyata na vidyate. It can never be the object of experience, but it is experienced. The very self being the very nature of experience. Swayameva anubhutitvat. It cannot be an object of experience. So, experiencer experienced something other than me, the triputi is existing in all our knowledge. But in one knowledge, there is no triputi. Triputi means what? Knower, known, and the knowing. Experiencer, experienced, and experiencing. This is called triputi. In all knowledge, whatever the vritti janya jnana, whatever knowledge you wanted to know, there must be these three things are involved. What object of knowledge, the knower of the object, and the experience, sambandha between these two, knowing. But similarly, in every vastu, this three triputi exists. But in the case of self, there cannot be triputi. Because the ego can never know the Atman. So Atma is what? Swayameva anubhutitvat. It is being of the nature of experience. So therefore, na vidyate anubhavyata. It cannot be experienced as we experience other objects. So you are that. Therefore, ityadi vachanaihi sputam. So what is jnanam? Jnanam is swayameva anubhutitvat. Satyam, jnanam, consciousness, knowledge. Knowledge is consciousness. So awakening. Therefore, Vidyamuni says, about from in Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Satyam has been described. It is clearly proved that Brahman is Satyam. It cannot be negated. Trikala abhadita vastu. This we have seen. What about Jnanam? Pura iritam. Earlier I already explained. Swayameva anubhutitvat. It is the nature of self being experienced. Ityadi vachanaihi sputam. Therefore, now these two things are over. Now, the third lakshana is there. What is third lakshanam? Anantam. Anantam. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. This comes in Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, and beautiful bhashya by Adi Shankaracharya ji in Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That comes there very clear. So, that is very beautifully explained in Taittiriya Upanishad. So, that is now explained. Third Lakshana is said. Ananta means what? Limitless. There is no limit. And what kind of limitations are possible to exist? We will enumerate them. Then all these possible limitations are absent in Brahman. That is our second point to be noted, to be seen. So in this sloka, in 35th sloka, Vidyaranya Muni explains this. What is that? Navyapitvad deshatonto nityatvannapi kalataha navastutopi sarvatmyat anantyam brahmanitridha. Navyapitvad deshatonto nityatvannapi kalataha navastutopi sarvatmyat Anantyam Brahmanitridha. Very beautiful thing. Now, in the Brahman, limitations, all types of possible limitations are removed. That is called Anantattva Siddhi. Then we can establish that Brahman is Anantam. Anantam, limitless. Now, therefore, there is no limitation. First one is what? Vyapitvat na deshatah antaha. That na should be brought to not vyapitvat. Na vyapitvat na vyapitvat deshatah na antaha. First point. Brahman is all pervading. All pervading means what? There is no place where it is not. So, with respect to space, left where there is no Brahman. So, limitation with respect to place. Now, you take for example, any object you take in the world, there is a limitation. Now, for example, when I am here as Swami Chidrupananda, seated in one particular chair, that means what? I am not in other chair. I am in this town, not occupying the whole town also. That means I am not here, I am not there, I am not everywhere else. So I am limited to one particular desha, one particular space. I am limited. Similarly, everything is limited to its own space. You are limited to your own place. So therefore, we are not omnipresent. But with respect to space, Brahman is all pervading. Meaning, there is no place where he is not. Therefore, first one, three types of limitations are to be removed. Deshatah, Kalatah, and Vastutah. With respect to space, with respect to time, with respect to object. The limitations are to be removed. That is the beauty. Now, first one is proved here, Vyapitvat, because it is all pervading, omnipresent, there is no limitation due to space. Na deshatah antaha. First point. Second is what? Kalataha. With respect to time also, it is limited, unlimited, sorry. It is limitless with respect to time. See, our existence is what? Between our birth and death. Suppose you are in 19th century or 18th century, you are only for particular time you are existing. You are not available before that, you will not be available after that period of your life. We are temporary. So in time also we are not always present. Think about it. So there is no vastu, nothing is always present in the creation. They present, they exist for themselves, so in time for some time, and then disappear. But what is that which remains unaffected by time? Brahman. Why Brahman is unaffected? Nityatva, being ever present, eternal, ever present. So there is no divisions of past, future, and present in Brahman. It is always there. It is always same. So Nityatvat, because it is eternal, it is ever present. Na api kalataha antaha asti. So with respect to time also, there is no limit in Brahman, not limited by time. So beautiful. Very wonderful thing. Now third one is what? Na vastutaha api sarvatmya. Now the third bandhan is what? Limitation is what? Vastutaha. With respect to object. Now for example, one object you take. That object is called X. Another object is different shape, size, function, etc. That object is called Y. So two different objects are existing. So X is limiting the Y and Y is limiting the X. Both of them are limited. So X is limiting the Y is limited by X. Suppose this is a tree. When I say it is a tree, it means what? It is not human being, it is not an animal, it is not a table, etc. So a tree means only a tree. So what it is not, the list is more, huge list. Therefore, with respect to Brahman you take, there is no other Brahman to limit this Brahman. If there are two Brahmans, example, so you can say this Brahman is limited by Vastu Paricheda. It's called Vastu Paricheda. Limited by other Vastu, other Brahman. There is no other Brahman. Only one Brahman is there. The one without a second. All pervading reality. When it is all pervading, one alone exists and there is no other Vastu, and all Vastus are actually superimposed. All objects are in Brahman, only appearances. Therefore, everything is Brahman alone, because Brahman alone is appearing in the form of all the objects. Like for example, gold is not limited by bangle, gold is not limited by necklace, gold is not limited by ring. Why? Because it is the gold only in the form of bangle, necklace and ring. See? If you say bangle as name and shape, size and weight and utility, vastu, and similarly necklace, weight, shape, size, etc. is limited. So bangle is limited by necklace, necklace is limited by bangle, but gold is not limited by necklace, nor bangle, nor earring, nor wedding ring. It is not limited. Why? It is a gold only appearing in the form of necklace, in the form of what do you call earring or wedding ring or everything. Therefore, Brahma Vastu is only one. There is no other Brahma Vastu. So with respect to Vastu also, there is no limitations. It is only one Vastu without a second, that is all pervading. So therefore, with respect to three things, Sarvatmyat, being the nature of everything. What is the nature of every instrument, every ornament made out of gold? Gold only. What is the Sarvatmyat nature of everything that is made up of mud, pot only? Think about it. So Sarvatmyat. So all the products of mud are made up of mud. All the products of gold are made up of gold. Similarly, the gold is Sarvatmya Bhava. Everywhere gold is there. Mud is Sarvatmya. In everything, product of mud is there. Therefore, similarly, Brahman alone appearing in all these forms. So what is the essence of every Vastu? Brahma. So that Brahman, there is no other Brahman. In that Brahman, all Vastus are appearances only. Therefore, it is not conditioned or limited by any other Vastu. Therefore, with respect to Vastu also, there is no limitation in Brahman. Na Vastutah api Sarvatmya. Because it is Sarvatmya, there is no limitation in Brahman. Very clear. Therefore, in Brahman, this is a very beautiful shloka. Meditate on this. That in Brahma Vastu, Deshataha, Vastutaha, Kalataha, there is no limitation. Aparichedyam. limitless. That is Brahman. Therefore, Anantyam Brahmani Tritha. So these are the three, what do you call, in Brahman, there are three types of limitations are absent. So three types of limitlessness is established in Brahman with respect to day and space, time, and object. And that is Brahmavastu. Who is the Brahmavastu? You alone, me alone, everyone alone. So this is how Vidyaranya Muni is guiding us. Now a logical explanation is given. That means Desha, Kala, Vastu, are they really existing? No. Then what? They are all existing in Brahman, no problem, appearing in Brahman. They are only a partial reality, that is Vyavaharika Satya only, not Paramarthika Satya. Like gold ornaments are not Paramarthika Satyam, only Vyavaharika Satyam. The bangle is used for 10 years, 15 years old bangle, then you go to goldsmith and change it to some other ornament of the gold out of the bangle, or add more gold, whatever it is. So bangle is Vyavaharika Satyam. Gold is Paramarthika Satyam. Pot is Vyavaharika Satyam. Mud is Paramarthika Satyam. So these things are now told, stated by Vidyaranya Muni here in 36th verse. Deshakalanyavastunam kalpitatvacha mayaya na deshadikrutontosti brahmanantyam sputam tataha. Deshakalanyavastunam kalpitatvacha mayaya na deshadikrutontosti brahmanantyam sputam tataha. Now he says, deshataha kalataha vastutaha. Desha kala anya vastuna. The time, place, time, and objects. They're all anya vastuna, which are suspended in time and place. Every object has its own limitation, limited by time. It remains for some time. It remained in one particular place. It takes this, any object we take, limited by space, limited by time. It was not before, it will not be in future. This object will disappear or change its shape and size, etc. So, Desha, Kala, Anya Vastuna, and all other Vastus, objects, Kalpitatvacha Mayaya, because they are all are imagined, imaginary, created by Maya. Mayaya Kalpitatvat. Maya Kalpitatvat means what? As I said, they are only appearances. Appearances. Then what is the truth? Vyavaharika Satyam it is. Vyavaharika Satyam. Of course, there are, you must have read, of course, all of you read. I'm just reminding you. One is Paramarthika Satyam. Second is Vyavaharika Satyam, empirical world. I'm talking, you are listening. I will be hungry, I'll be thirsty. I may be sick, I may need medicine, I may need care. The entire Vyavahara is going on. Vyavaharika Satyam. So from the absolute point of view, even this Vyavaharika Satyam also is an appearance only. There is not, it's not absolute truth. So therefore, Desha Kala Vastu are all Vyavaharika Satyam, and Brahma is what? Paramarthika Satyam. Very beautiful. So, Vyavaharika Satya, listen carefully. That which is Vyavaharikam, transactional, empirical, cannot limit the Paramarthika Vastu. Cannot condition the Paramarthika Vastu. So, example, a dream tiger or lion. Dream is what? Pratibhashika Satta. It cannot, it is from the, after you wake up, it cannot be brought into transaction also. Or Gandharva Nagaram in the clouds. Pratibhashika Satta. You may see animals, you may see buildings, etc. But Pratibhashika Satta cannot limit the Paramarthika Satyam. The dream elephant or dream lion, it cannot restrict the movement of the waker. Waker knew it was a dream. Suppose he dreamt in the dream. A huge lion was sitting outside the door of his house, and he saw in the dream through the window. And the lion also had seen him and roared, and he was scared. And he decided, no, till the lion is there, I cannot go out of the house. So he called the forest department. He dialed, sir, there's a big lion sitting outside of my door. I will not go to office now. Tomorrow I can't go to work. And please tell nobody should come to my house unless you people come and then catch the lion, take him to the forest again or a zoo. So I will not move from the house. So that decision he had taken as a dreamer. But how long the dream will continue? In science, the psychologist says the longest dream is only for a few seconds. The dream time, very interesting. Whole life you may live in the dream. In waking time, it is equal to only few seconds, or longest dream maybe not even 1 minute. Some calculations are there. So how can the dream lion, when he wakes up, he is no more scared, no? He can go open the door. The dream lion cannot limit the movement of the waker. See? So the dream lion cannot restrict the Vyavaharika Satyam. Therefore, Desha Kala Anya Vastunam Maya Kalpitatvacha. Because you may ask, if really Desha Kala Vastu is existing in Brahman? No. No. When we say the rope pervades the snake, rope pervades the snake, is it real or unreal statement I'm talking about? This sentence is valid as long as I don't recognize the snake is an appearance, the rope is the reality. Even at the time of seeing the snake, I am seeing the rope only. But I say that snake is pervaded by the rope, but rope I cannot see. When I see the rope pervaded the snake. There's no Jagat there. That's why Mandukya Upanishad, our Gaudapadacharya clearly says, neither there was any creation, nor any seeker of truth, nor any bounded fellow, nor is there any liberation. न च उत्पत्तिः न निरोधः. So when you say, when we gave example of deshatah, kalatah, vastutah, are they real? So Vidyaranya Muni is clarifying. No. As long as you are experiencing, they are all valid for vyavaharika purposes. Otherwise, they are all mayaya kalpitatvacha. Therefore, na deshadikruto antah asti. As a told example, therefore, their Brahman cannot be limited by desha, kala, vastu, because they are imaginary. How can imaginary things really bind or cause limitation to existing reality? How can a Swapna lion cause the restriction to the waker? Na deshadikrutah antah asti. Brahma anantyam sputam tataha. Therefore, Brahma anantyam, the limitlessness of Brahman, is therefore proved. Because what they space, time, and the object also is only created due to Maya, and it has no locus standi of its own. To explain the Anantyam of Brahman with respect to Deshakala and Vastu, we brought Deshakala Vastu. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Jivo Brahma Hiva Napara. So when we come to this statement, everything changes. There is no struggle to prove that Brahman is infinite. When everything is Mithya, Brahman is Satyam, Satyam is Anantam, Anantam is Anandam, Anantam is Jnanam. So only one Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam is left. So Brahma Anantyam Sputam Tataha. Therefore, this limitlessness of Brahman is clearly established. Because when we contemplate that Brahma Vastu is infinite, not conditioned by space, time, and object, etc., we should not get doubt how it is possible. How come Brahman is, space itself is so vast? It appears to be infinity. So, Brahmanantyam Sputam Tataha. Now, the question rises, sir, okay, there is no limitation in Brahman with respect to Desha, Kala, and Vastu. Agreed. But there can be a limitation because in Brahman, Jiva is there, Ishwaratva is there. We are seeing Jiva ruled by Ishvara. There is somebody called Ishvara. So Ishwaratva and Jivatva, these are two limitations. So how can Brahman be termed as Ananta? Because Brahman is there, Ishvara is there, Jiva is there. So Jivatva and Ishwaratva are two clearly seen. So duality is there. How can you explain now? This duality also should not be there. So beautifully, Shankaraman Vijnana Muni explains, Satyam Jnanamanantam Yad Brahma Tadvastu Tasya Tat Ishwaratvam Cha Jivatvam Upadidvaya Kalpitam Satyam Jnanamanantam Yad Brahma Tadvastu Tasya Tat Ishwaratvam Cha Jivatvam Upadhidvaya Kalpitam. In that Brahman, what is Brahman? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Yad Brahma. That Brahman, which is existence, consciousness or knowledge, and limitation is not there. Anantam, devoid of limitation, that which is reality. Yad Brahma, Tad Vastu, that Brahman, that what is that now? Ishtatasya, Tad Ishwaratvam cha Jivatvam, Upadidvaya Kalpitam. Of this reality, which is nothing but Brahman, in that Brahman alone, these two conditionings are Kalpitam, imagined, projected, appearances. What are these two conditions are put appearing in Brahman? One is Ishvara, other is Jiva. I give one simple example, only to make us understand. And don't stretch the example beyond. Suppose there is a ten kilometers radius. So diameter will be double, 20 kilometers. So 10 kilometers radius circle you draw. And children play ring, ring play. Similarly, 10 kilometers radius ring, you make it. Big ring it is. Even obviously we cannot hold it, but imagine a 10 kilometers ring. And that ring is floating in the ocean. That ring is floating in the ocean. And in the ring, there are small rings are there, which we normally play. They are also in 10 kilometers radius. How many rings? About thousands of rings, maybe you can put it, or hundreds of rings, and they are also floating in the ocean. Now, when you see from above, definitely you feel that in that ocean so big, but you can definitely see a shape taken out of that ocean, the 10 kilometers radius. You can clearly see as though it is that entire portion within that, as though it is separated from the water outside the ring. So ring is made up of thickness of some thickness, so that thickness separates from above, if you see. So you can see the water outside the ring, water inside the ring. So the ring is very clearly seen, as though it cut out of, it's made a cut in the ocean, and it is separated and separately seen. You can see the shape of it, etc. Now, is this ring which is created and creating a feeling in us that it is taken out, separated, etc. And we talk within the ring, outside the ring, etc. That language. This demarcation in the ocean, is it real or appearance? Obviously, it is not real. It is appearance. So big ring, imagine it is Ishvara. I'm just giving an example. And smaller rings which appear to be separated from the bigger ring, though it's its own individuality, but though it is existing in Ishvara within the big ring, but every small ring is it's a small diameters, different diameters. They also have different existences. You feel that everything is separate. You can see so many things as though demarcated water inside the small ring, outside the small rings. These are all jivas. Now, from the standpoint of truth, the ocean, is it really any division created? Or it is an appearance? It is imagined, it is projected, it is an appearance. So these two upadhis are Dvaya, Ishwaratvam and Jivatvam, Kalpitam. Maya is Ishwara upadhi, Avidya, same only Maya aspect only. Jiva upadhi. These two are imagined in Brahman. So these two are not real. Therefore, here Jagat also is to be taken. Jagat they did not take. Ishvara, Jiva and Jagat. Jagat is a matter. So the Chetanatmaka Srishti, Ishvara and Jiva, two conscious entities, they are superimposed, imagined, projected. They are Dvaya Kalpitam. They are also imagined, projected. Therefore, with respect to Ishvara and Jiva also, there is no limitation, division is created in Brahman. So these two are projections only, they are not real. How it is done? That is the power of Brahman, Maya Shakti, which makes Brahman appear as all this Ishvara Jiva Jagat. Maya did not create Ishvara Jiva Jagat out of Brahman, really speaking. But Maya Shakti is making Jiva Jagat and Ishvara, Jiva Jagat and Ishvara as three things are appearing in Brahman. Since their appearance, there is no division created in Brahman. There is no hani. There is no problem with with the limitlessness nature of Brahman. But Anantyatvam, Brahmana Anantyatvam, there is no problem. So now the teacher explains further that these two upadhis are only imagined, and then further proceeds further to explain the subsequent thought. Okay, thank you very much. Tomorrow we will meet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। थैंक यू ऑल। हरि ओम।